What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for today's video, I kind of want to just deep dive into the open beta for Black Ops 6. As you guys know, the closed beta was not too phenomenal. We had a lot of issues here. And you guys know on this channel, I'm not just going to, crap on them just to crap on them. I have very legitimate reasons for the way I feel personally, and you guys know from my previous review of the closed beta, I thought the game was pretty dang fun. I don't see too much wrong with Black Ops 6 here. If you enjoy playing Modern Warfare 3 or, Cold War or anything of that sort, you'll probably enjoy playing Black Ops 6. The only problem is that these games launch so frequently that it gets kind of tiresome to be in the Call of Duty cycle, and to see previous games that you enjoy just basically die out within a year tops. It's pretty sad stuff. But minus all of the nonsense, I thought Black Ops 6 wasn't too shabby, but the game itself was absolutely busted. Absolutely just devastating in the closed beta portion of this overall game. And there was a lot of things that I wanted to see polished off for the open beta. I wanted to see better performance, better servers. I wanted to see the weapons get polished off overall. Cleaner movement, a little bit smoother, make it feel less choppy, less clunky. It was a handful of things I wanted to see, and honestly, I was shocked. I have to be with you guys. I was shocked when Treyarch put out the patch notes, and they practically touched upon every single thing the community has wanted to see. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We are on the grind of 50,000 subscribers, and the support has been absolutely bonkers recently on this channel. So of course, if you guys are interested in any of this content, you want open-minded opinions about Call of Duty, the good, the bad, all of the above, subscribe and hit that bell for future content. And if you guys want to catch me live stream this open beta right here, hop into our open lobbies and even chat it up with me personally, by all means, you guys can find me live today over on Twitch at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go for about maybe 4 hours or so. So until 4 p.m. Eastern time. So by all means, tune in. I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. Now, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to touch upon here is the weapon balancing. Now, I heard that they were going to nerf the Jackal, and I was thinking to myself, this is going to be interesting, because if you guys know me, I like when developers buff things around the overpowered stuff, not necessarily nerfing the good stuff into the dirt. But I will admit, the Jackal was in an interesting spot where it was a bit overpowered, way too consistent. So they went ahead and nerfed it, and they nerfed it big time on the patch notes. And it kind of shocked me, and I was a little bit worried, but when I hopped in to give it a go, it's way more balanced, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, you will see the Jackal still dominate the whole kill feed, because that's just how Call of Duty players work. They see the most overpowered thing in the game, they hear everybody calling something meta, and they can't even fathom using anything else. They're just going to stick to that single gun, and that's all they're ever going to rock. I don't know why COD players think this way, but honestly, if we're going to be realistic here, it's pretty much all players who think this way. No matter what game you play, people are always going to gravitate over towards the meta. So of course your kill feed is still going to be packed with Jackals, but trust me, you're not going to feel like you're at a massive disadvantage. If anything, the MP5 is so freaking consistent now. They actually gave it a buff, which is, man, I loved the gun before, but they just made it 10 times better, and it's way more consistent. If you guys haven't tried it out yet, please, for the love of God, give it a go. And like I said, the new SMG that you see in this gameplay, extraordinarily solid. Honestly, across the board, the weapons are feeling really, really balanced. And of course, we don't know how that's going to turn out when the game officially launches and we have a bunch more weapons to have to, get into the cycle of the game. But watching how Treyarch handled the balancing issues here, which was something that I really wanted to study a bit here. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while now, you guys know that my judgment for this game right here is how Treyarch handles it. I think it's a pretty fun game, but it's painfully it's just another COD game, right? So the way that I'm going to critique this one is if Treyarch can actually pick up the slack and continue the communication that Sledgehammer left off for, the overall health of this game. And so far, so good. Now, this could drastically change, and my opinion will drastically change, and I'll bash Treyarch like no tomorrow. But from what I've seen with this weapon balancing, I'm pretty confident that the rest of the game will be pretty nicely balanced. And I can't imagine them having, anything that will ruin the experience, and they will not handle it. If something does pop up that becomes a little bit overwhelming, or something is a little underwhelming, I trust them. I honestly trust them. They did a perfect job with the Jackal. They nerfed it down a bit to make it so it's not as viable, but at the same time, it's not just absolute garbage. Now let's go ahead and take a second to talk about probably the most crucial thing of this overall beta, and that is the performance. This is the biggest deciding factor for me. This is what ruined my experience, and I needed to see improvements, because it felt like Modern Warfare 3 Packet Burst times 10. It was god-awful. And I'm happy to report that, at least from my personal experience, it is much better. Now, I can't confirm this for everybody. I've had some people say that it's still just as bad as the closed beta. But I'm being so serious. From my experience right now, from closed beta to open beta, the performance is night and day. Now, I'm personally playing on PC, so maybe it's just an improvement for Battle.net or PC players. I don't know. You guys let me know your experience down in the comment section, please, and thank you, because again, all the stuff that's being said in this video is opinion-based, right? These are all opinions. No facts, just opinions. So I would love to hear your opinions as well. But my experience, the performance has improved tenfold. Now, the skill-based matchmaking, on the other hand, no, that's still going to be a huge issue in this game, and I'm not expecting that to leave anytime soon. Again, I got X-Defiant to fill my no skill-based matchmaking craves, and I still enjoy playing that game a ton. It's a blast. But when it comes to COD right now, like I said, on this channel, I try to critique both sides. I understand the problems with skill-based matchmaking, and I criticize Activision for doing so. But I also like to acknowledge the developers if they do a decent job. And I have to be real with you guys. The servers, the connection, my bullets, everything feels way better in this open beta than it did in the closed beta, along with the balancing changes, which are really solid. So far, Treyarch is stepping in the right direction. They're not going backwards, they're going forwards right now. And then over to the movement, they actually increased the movement across the board for plenty of weapons, minus the SMGs, but the ARs, LMGs, DMRs, everything got a little bit of a movement buff. You can move a lot better with them. And I'll tell you right now, it's very fluid. It feels fantastic. And also, try diving a bit more as well. I used to despise diving. It didn't feel very clean. It felt clunky because I would drop and I would feel a bit stiff. I couldn't get back up and gain that momentum. Now, after the movement update, it is so extraordinarily clean. You have to give it a go. And for a lot of the weapons, it feels pretty solid. Now, I will say, the new map that you guys saw in the beginning of this footage, I don't like, man. It's too small. They keep showcasing smaller and smaller and smaller maps. Again, it worries me. It worries me for the full launch of this game with 16 maps, all potentially being the size of what we're seeing in pretty much all these gameplays. But still, like I said, when it comes to Treyarch listening to the community and fixing what needs to be fixed that's in their control, I have to give them props where props are due. I do it for every development team. I did it for Sledgehammer Games. I did it for Infinity Ward, which barely got any props because they didn't acknowledge the game whatsoever and left it to rot and die with Modern Warfare 2 2022, which was really sad. But like I said, Sledgehammer got props, and if Treyarch continues to go in this path, I will continue to get them props where it's respectfully due. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the audio is tremendously better than the closed beta. The closed beta, I swear I would be running full sprint. I could barely hear myself. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm rocking a lot of Ninja now. Ninja might be the lifesaver of this game, but I could barely hear myself back in the closed beta. And it seems like the enemies could hear me halfway across the map and they would pre-aim me miles away. It was impossible to dictate any legitimate gunfights with the sound audios and the sound cues within this game in the closed beta. It was disgusting. Like I said, there were so many things that really ruined the experience that put a bad taste in a lot of players' mouths that have been resolved going into the open beta, and I hope they keep pushing in this direction because the audio is massively better. And same thing with the RCXD car. That thing was horrible to drive, so jaggedy. I gave it up. I didn't want to bother rocking it anymore. I looked like a bot. I literally looked like a bot driving the RCXD car. It was bad, but they went ahead and improved that as well. It's nice and smooth now. Again, I suggest giving it a go. The Watchdog Helo got an increase of health. The Hellstorm got an increase to cluster bomb damage radius, which helps tremendously. I get a lot more kills with the Hellstorm. Again, a lot of positive changes here. I know people are going to say, well, how are you switching up so much? I didn't switch up. Again, I'm giving you guys all my opinions as the time goes on. I said this game is painfully average, which it is, in my personal opinion. It doesn't feel drastically different than any other COD game I really played in the past few years, minus the Omni movement. So it's not necessarily bad because it still runs, it has a lot of content. It's going to be a pretty packed game, but I'm going to dictate this game from developer feedback, how they treat their community, and how they want to push this game, who they're going to acknowledge, who they're going to hyper-focus. And it seems like the devs are, again, like I said before, on the right track. The performance is better. The movement is so clean now, a lot more smooth. The balancing of the weapons is tremendous. I mean, a lot of them are extraordinarily viable now. And although you will see the Jackal, like I said earlier, a lot, it's much more balanced out. And as a player, you won't feel, abused, because before you felt abused if you didn't use the Jackal. You felt like you were getting stomped. Now you don't feel abused. It might be obnoxious from time to time, but I don't feel like I have to pull away from any weapon in order to compete. And I have to use the Jackal to get good gameplay. No, not at all. I feel like I can use all types of variety and have a blast within the experience now, which is phenomenal. I still don't agree with their map designs. I still think they're really rough, too small, but all of these things are opinion. When it comes down to reviewing this game, I'm going to continue to critique it based off of how Treyarch handles things, and they are handling it pretty nicely. And I hope it continues in this direction for the remainder of the open beta. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, go down in the comments section and let me know what you guys are feeling about this new open beta here. Have you guys tried it out yet? Are you still waiting for the weekend to come through? Well, actually, it is coming through. It's Saturday today. I keep forgetting. For anybody who's new to the channel, we record the day before. Okay, so basically this video is being made on Friday. It goes live on Saturday. So sometimes I say some stupid stuff, right? But are you guys playing it? Are you still waiting a bit to hop into the experience? Is it too sweaty still? Is it a bit better for you? Is the performance good? Is it bad? Again, all this content heavily relies on the comment section and your guys' personal experience, because just because I'm having a good time and my experience is, slowly improving, doesn't mean it is for everyone else. So, if it has to be addressed still, if the connection is still horrible, if the packet burst is still disgusting, if we see that it's a massive issue from a game-to-game, basis, and it's happening 24/7 like it was in the closed beta for others still, speak up, let it be known, and we will potentially, express ourselves about it and discuss it in the future. But for now, I'm just going to give you guys my personal first impressions of the open beta. Huge jump in improvements from closed to open. I have to give them props for it. Treyarch nailed a lot of good points home. They did a lot of solid things, solid changes. Their balancing was really good. They didn't over-nerf or over-buff. Everything feels pretty even. And, I got to give respect where respect is due. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. Like I said earlier, if you guys want to catch me live today, checking out this game a bit more for the open beta, by all means, you guys can find me live today over on Twitch at 12 p.m. Eastern time. I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.